By the way, I'd like to remind you, you had the warning signals 5 months back. You chose to do nothing. When you choose not to act, then we will ask, was there a conspiracy behind choosing not to act? That's a valid question. Shazia, please. Shazia, please, rebutting you now. Please.
Arnav, with your kind permission, Arnav, I would like to tell Mr. Jha, not ask him, that this is hitting people really hard. It's a real crisis situation wherever you go, not just low-income group areas, but middle-income groups at all levels. And he's saying that people should not panic. This affects the food. This affects the daily meal. This affects our lives. It's getting really tough. So how can Sanjay Jha obfuscate and run away?
Mohandas Pai. No, one second. Sanjay, 1 minute. Sanjay, Mohandas Pai, I request you.
Anybody on this panel who's more concerned about price rise as part of the government, it's us.
You know what?
And we are the ones who are more than anyone, concerned about putting things back
Mohandas
in order.
Pai, then
so please do not believe that there is any, lackadaisical approach on our side. Please.
Mohandas Pai.
Enough. Piyush made a statement that a few people manipulate the market. They are in control of the onion market in a particular state. They're controlling the market, creating shortages to jack up the price, make money, and that money can be used for elections. Elections are coming, and they're doing it every quarter. Everybody knows about it in the marketplace. You ask financial analysts in Bombay, they'll give the names of people who own a very large share. There are only a few people. Competition Commission knows. Now the government is important. The government does not do anything. So we don't know whether people in government are supposed to do it. They also have to shake in the money. It's a money manipulation game.
Our first caller on Newshour viewer, I have a question.
They are being exported.
Our first caller on I have a question, and he's the first caller on I have a question, is Pradeep Sharma, and Pradeep is calling from Northampton. Now, I don't know what the prices are there in Northampton in the United Kingdom. I'm pleasantly surprised you're watching in Northampton. But go ahead, Pradeep. I'm sure you have your point. Go ahead.
Hi, Arnav. I really am a big fan of you, the first thing, and I've been watching this show from a long time. Coming to the point, is like I just to bring the point here, like onion prices here are around 67 penny per kg. And if we turn it to in rupees, that will be around 66 rupees or 67 rupees per kg.
Yeah,
and it's around 33 rupees less as compared to India. Prices are here.
You won't get it at that price back home. I can assure you. Pradeep, thanks for calling. Thanks for watching in Northampton. Now, I don't think lower onion prices are the only reason for you to be there in United Kingdom. I hope that. One second. The next caller.
Pradeep. Next caller. Production of onion. UK does not produce onion.
The next caller.
UK is not a producer of onions.
The next caller is Ayushman Srivastav, and he's calling in from Noida. Ayushman. Hello and welcome to I Have a Question.
Hello, Arnav.
Yep, go ahead.
My question to you is that in an agriculturally rich country like India, how is it possible to have such a crisis of onion without the faults of government bodies as they are implying?
Well, absolutely. Well, that call comes in from Ayushman. You want to take that, Mr. Gandhi? Completely man-made, created, engineered crisis.
I'm actually distressed at both my major political parties in this country. You made a very valid point saying in Gujarat, why has the receipt dropped by 45%?
Yeah,
Mr. Goel chose to not talk about it and talk about
it.
No, sir.
You didn't probably hear my answer. Sir, I said Gujarat produces
I heard
4% of the national production.
I heard that.
Yeah, then what did you not hear?
The drop in receipts is something that you duck completely. And of course, Sanjay
we import from Maharashtra. So the problem is in Maharashtra. It is not in Gujarat.
But let him give his point of view.
And I think Sanjay gave a great comment saying, if the price of mangoes goes up, will we control mangoes?
No, I'm saying we can't call it an essential commodity.
No, so we would not. Sanjay, one second. We would not call. Just a minute. We would not call mangoes essential commodity. We would call onions essential commodity. And if we can't see the difference between mangoes and onions,
1 minute.
I think
Salish, can I make a point?
No.
The definition of an essential commodity is based on the elasticity of that product. So, for example, if the price of petrol or diesel goes up, no matter what happens, the demand will not fall by the same proportionate level, right? I think there are some products that can be substituted. So that's the logic.
Sanjay, 1 minute. May I interrupt you right there? I want to hold you right there. I appreciate your attempt to teach basic, economics. on the Newshour program. But I also
common sense.
no, but it's not that law of elasticity.
You expect the poor to change their
let me tell you, there are religious communities in India that don't eat onion all their lives. No, let's not go into that.
Sanjay, but don't interrupt.
This is exactly like the Prime Minister.
Arnab Goswami, now let me have a chance before the other person.
No, but you must take a question occasionally. You must take a question occasionally. And the question here is this. Thank you very much. And remember, every Newshour viewer at this moment is watching you, judging you, and deciphering you on the basis of whether you will answer the question.
I'm sure they trust us for that.
I am sure on the basis of whether you answer my question and not the question which you want me to ask.
Okay.
Sanjay Jha. The question is this, that the centre had asked the state governments to crack down on hoarding. Everyone was warned about it. And I can prove to you that the National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Federation, NAFED, I am told, and I am quoting a letter which was given out in July, had offered to procure onions at wholesale prices in June. They said this crisis is going to come. So let us start building up our wholesale prices procurement in June to build up stocks so that this can be released to state governments at a time of shortage, right? Now, the point is, what happened since then? This offer was made, but once the other point was that no single state government responded to the offer, not even Delhi, which was the worst hit. It mystifies me. What it tells me is that political parties across the board knew this crisis was going to happen. Sharad Pawar knew this crisis was going to happen. Centre did nothing. Centre informed the state governments. Nobody alerted. In other words, people didn't care. The political parties, whether in Maharashtra or Gujarat or anywhere, didn't quite care about the impending onion crisis. You agree with me?
It was the duty of the Central Agriculture Ministry, Union Agriculture Ministry, to monitor what happened to the NAFED order.
Yeah.
What happened to the prices going up or going down?
Yeah.
What was happening? Why should it suddenly, descend on us?
Yeah.
But so obviously,
the solution to this is banning exports altogether.
No, but I think that is a
taking action against the hoarders.
That is a thought.
Let me tell you, festive season, the demand rises significantly.
But this is something that is what has to be anticipated.
I appreciate
But the point
you should
is,
anticipate that. I agree with that.
No, the simple
That is where it's a failure.
Can I just request you not to?
Let's minimize
Sanjay, one thing all of us can agree that it is not to the farmers' benefit, all this price rise that is going on. It is to the benefit only of the traders.
Yeah.
So let us completely cut out that crap saying that it ultimately helps the farmers. The rise in prices, it does not.
That kind of
help the traders who become hoarders.
Can I request you, please let me hold this house. Now, we have a next caller. And our next caller I have a question is Laidi, and she's calling in from Chennai. Laidi, good evening.
Good evening, Anna.
Good evening. It's a noisy debate. What would you like to say?
I have a number of points I would like to raise as a question. I have noticed on my research that Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat and Karnataka are the onion-producing states of India. I have also noticed that the price of onions in those states are very high. Secondly, I know there is a 4.8% drop in the harvest, in the last harvest of onions. However, there's a 300 and 500% rise in the price of onions. Thirdly, I know that the licenses for export are given by the central government and not by the state government.
Precisely.
So, how can the state governments then provide the outflow, prevent the outflow of onions?
I think, Laidi, you made a very strong point. One minute.
She made a technical mistake. Let me just correct the But how can you let a technical mistake go? See, she has said Gujarat in the list. The actual list is with me. Maharashtra produces 28%, Karnataka 15%, Madhya Pradesh 13%, Andhra Pradesh 9%, Bihar 8%, Gujarat only 4%.
So Gujarat is
Gujarat is number 6 at 4%.
I think we should admire.
She missed out the two important Congress states in between.
Piyush Goyal.
I'm just correcting.
Piyush Goyal, 1 minute, please. Can I please request you to be
monitored by Gujarati traders?
Now you're bringing parochial.
Without being communal. Without sounding parochial.
Now it is parochial.
I'm sorry if it is parochial, but I'm just saying
this is clearly parochial.
Trade is not monitored.
I thought it was only Congress which divides society.
I am just saying that trade is not monitored by Maharashtra.
I didn't know journalists also do divisive.
No, I am not saying that. Sorry if I am brought that point.
Can I just request you?
I'm not a Gujarati, but I respect.
This is not.
I'm sorry for that point, but
now you're going to have to let me come in, please, because this is not a. This is not a time.
Arnav, you might need my help for the first time.
This is not a time. I wish it was a time for quipping. I wish it was a time for asides, but I think this is an extremely serious time that we are hitting today. And I think we need to appreciate the seriousness of the occasion. Now, I know, Shazia, that last month KV Thomas, who's our food minister, said that there were no plans to declare onions as an essential commodity. I am asking you today, why don't you declare onions as an essential commodity? If you declare onions as an essential commodity, you'll have to stop the exports. So some businessmen will be affected. So what?
True.
Let them be affected, right, Shazia?
You know, if you look at the, absolutely, and if you look at the weightage given to onions, even if the pricing is concerned, it's very minor, and you wonder why. It is, after all, an essential commodity. This affects our daily meal. But I would like to ask Piyush ji before that India is a large country. We are not talking about Gujarat alone. So please see the entire country and not keep defending just Gujarat.
No, since the lady made a mistake.
And it's not about scoring political brownie points.
Please, you know.
That's the third point and the important point. And the point I want to make here, that not only the politicians, it seems that the food minister, the agriculture minister or the commerce minister, they don't care, but also they don't seem to know what they're doing. So not only do we have a government which really doesn't care and responds to the people, but doesn't seem to have an idea where pricing is concerned, where price stability is concerned, where procurement is concerned. So I wonder, what are we talking about
I think the point, you know, I think Shazia, the point you make is very important. This is no rocket science. There is hoarding. You need to stop the hoarding. You need to punish the hoarders. Sure. I'd say that I put this question, let all the onions that these hoarders have put there hoping to export it or sell it, and let it rot. Let them suffer the losses, let it rot, let them suffer the losses, let them be forced to release it, because my information is, we are talking Maharashtra, right? In Maharashtra, onion production fell by 5%, but supplies to major markets in Maharashtra fell 20% to 40%. The moment you make it an essential commodity, the moment somebody realizes that, you know, if I hoard onions, I'll be put in jail for the next 5 to 6 years, they'll stop doing it, I tell you. Why does the government not show the courage to do that? I have a caller. And my next caller, I'm coming to you. Mohandas Pai, you want to say something? Okay, go ahead. Then we have a caller from Jaipur.
Yeah. Anna, please, I keep repeating, there's very big money involved in the entire thing. Why will the government take a decision? Why will the minister take a decision when there's such huge money involved? Absolutely. It's a money game. After 2 weeks, they will bring it down and they made the money and they'll laugh all the way to the bank. Nobody cares for the citizens in this country. The government of India, state governments don't care. Somebody is manipulating the market, they're making money.
Mohandas, you're too cynical. I'm sorry to say that. I really have a lot of admiration for you, but you're very, very cynical.
You know, Sanjay, look at data. Sanjay, look at data.
No, I don't think in today's times anybody can be so brazen and blatant.
Let him have his
manipulate the common man's interests for the sake of whatever you're alleging. I think that's a very far.
Can I read out what the Prime Minister said in November 2011?
Briefly, then I'll take a call.
Yeah, the Prime Minister said, what prices are going up are prices of vegetables, prices of eggs, prices of fish. That is secondary and tertiary food items. That is a reflection for the demand growing. So he actually belittled price increase. And he made it out as if increased prices is a reflection of growth in the economy.
Protein-related goods like milk, fish, eggs and meat has gone up because we are having greater degree of prosperity. It's something to be proud of.
So we should be proud that prices are going up. As a common man has to pay 4 times
supply. We need to increase supply. That is the problem.
That we all know. That's your job as the government. That's your job as the government.
Piyush Goyal,
prices are not
separate. Now, you know what I tell you. Now, tonight, you know, beyond a point of time, we want a solution. We don't want political point scoring. We really want a solution here today. And I'm sorry to have to say this, but there has been nothing but passing the buck. Don't respond, Piyush, and don't respond, Sanjay Jha. But the brutal fact is, September 13th, there was a circular sent out to state government saying, do something. This is sounding, I'm sorry to say, like one of those intelligence circulars which is sent, of which a photocopy is sent to every state government office every few months, saying that, you know, there might be a terrorist attack in your your state, do something about it. Every temple, every crowded place could be attacked. Do something about it. What you do is your business. Don't ask me. I have covered my back. You cover yours. That's not the way this country has got to be run. Our next caller this evening is Mr. Solanki from Jaipur. Mr. Solanki, I don't know what the prices are in Jaipur, but there it's quite bad nationally.
Yes, sir. Sir, my question is from Mr. Sanjay. I want to ask him that every time. Hello?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Sir, every time a common man, a poor man, ask an answer for what are you doing for the common man, they start hosting the slack that the food security bill. We have passed the food security bill. But they ought to know that not only rice, not only grain, but onion is the basic food of a common man. So what are they doing? It is quite ridiculous, sir. And he every time justifies his statement about what are they doing. Farmers are giving the onions at a rate of 25. Then why are you selling at a cost of 80? I don't know, where this country is going, sir. And I'm in a condition of completely ruined. Completely ruined by the system.
Mr. Solanki, you raise a valid point. Answer that. How many times does the Congress party speak about onion prices as opposed to the food security bill? How many times do your party leaders talk about food inflation as opposed to the food security bill?
Well, I start by Mr. Solanki. Let me first begin to tell you without batting an eyelid that one shares your sentiment, and we are going to tell you that we agree with you that the common man should not be impacted by anything such as high prices. And I will also tell you that's what I told Arnab at the beginning, that I would like to see this discussion in fact move to food inflation. We acknowledge that as a government, we acknowledge that we have to do a lot more than food inflation. Now that is a fundamental challenge. And I can tell you the solution to that, Mr. Solanki, lies in us actually having better storage, better warehousing.
You had 9 years
better distribution. No, that's one of the reasons.
You realize that after 9 years?
That's the reason why we have the FDI multi-brand retail, which, by the way, organized retailing puts an end to the middlemen. Number two, a food security bill that will provide subsidized food grains irrespective of market.
Are you going to supply onions under the? Are you going to supply onions under the food security bill?
Sorry,
are you going to supply?
I hope at some point maybe. Yeah.
You'll supply.
At some point.
You'll supply.
I mean, protein would be the next step.
You'll supply vegetables under the food security bill.
Well, let me tell you.
1 minute. Allow me. Vegetables under the food security.
That's what